Welcome back, CSE 235, to part 3 of our exciting exercise of date output. All we're doing is outputting a string of a date, but we are learning some basics for JavaScript in here, especially if you're used to other languages like Python, of how we do things in here. I'm making some mistakes as I go, some intentionally, some not intentionally. So we'll fix some of these things as we go, and we'll learn from mistakes as we go. That's the way I learn best, is by making mistakes and then fixing them. So hopefully you will too, and you'll learn to fix some of your things too by watching me screw up some things as I go. Before you send me an email and say this isn't working, if you saw me do it in the video, then you know. So anyway, we left off with today is Thursday, and we converted basically numbers into a string by doing this if-else statement. Now this was like, 10, 12 lines of code to do this, and then I got messed up with the equal signs and the equality and all that kind of stuff. So lots of room for error in here. Now we're going to do that with months, and now instead of just 7 days, we have 12 months to work with, going from 0 to 11. So they have here under get month, they have a way to just not get a number, but to get a month. Now, I'm not saying to just copy this code to know how to do it. I'm saying copy the code so you don't have to type it. So come here and copy this const month, and you could leave const because we're not really going to change this. So that way you don't have to type these months. It's here. Copy them. And we'll go back here and just put it here after your code, after this part, but before the output string. So you want to make sure you're doing all your conversions before the output string. What this means, and we'll get into this in more detail, but this is an array. Month is a variable, which means this list. Now in Python, it's called a list. In here, it's an array. And it just has commas separating all these strings. So these are a bunch of strings, and notice that it has square brackets. So that's like a list in Python, it's an array. And it has a length of 12 because there's 12 items in here. And they all have index numbers starting with 0. January, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So September would be 8, 9, 10, 11. So this would be 11. So starting at 0, this would be month 11. So that's kind of how it works. That's all you need to know right now. But know that we're going to use the index number because the correct index number will display that. Now, we don't have to use if-else. What we're going to do, if you remember, if the index number of September is 8, we just have to use the index number. So what we'll do here, instead of month, we already have month up here. So we don't want another variable. Let's just call this month underscore. We don't want to use a dash because that means minus. We want to use an underscore, and I'll do str for string. And so that's month string. So these are the strings of the month. That's different than the month number, because this is really showing up as a number, and that's using the index number. So you can go in here and display the string. Now, if we did that right now, we're not doing any conversions. It's just going to show this whole array. So if we run this, it's going to put every month in there. And we don't want that. We don't want every month. We want the specific month that we're dealing with. So by the specific month, we want this array, and then just put square brackets. And then what do you put in there? Well, I'm not going to put 8 in there. I mean, 8 would work, but I just want to put month. Because remember, month up here, this is the number. So that's getting the index number. That's getting 0 through 11. So that is our index number. So I could put month down here. It should be getting the array of month strings at the index number which it pulls, which is going to be 8. So it's going to pull 8. So this is going to be like month string 8. So this will really be 8. And if this was October, it would pull a 9. But right now it's pulling an 8. So let's see what happens. I'm thinking this should work. I'm feeling good about it. Let's see. There we go. Today is Thursday, September 14th. Now we need a space in there. How do we put a space in there? Well, let's go here and do plus, and then put quotes and just put a space. And now we have a space after 14. We have a space there, we have a space there. Now if you want a comma after Thursday, you could go here after day and put plus. You have to put pluses, you can't just put it right after. And I'll put quotes and put a comma. And I'll run it. And we need a comma space. And we have an additional space. Where's that additional space? I put spaces up here. So let's just get rid of these spaces. I put them there just to kind of think ahead, but actually it's probably better off not having a space in there. Just have it a regular string. If we need a space, we could put it in, and then if we take it away, we can control spaces down here. So now that says today is Thursday. Today is Thursday, September 14th, and we still want a space between year and the date. So here's the year and the date. Let's put plus. And again, you don't need spaces between all the plus signs unless it helps you and you want to be consistent, but for now, we'll just put a space in there. And that's why we're not putting all this stuff in here. That's why we made a variable for OS. So we don't have to change this. Otherwise, we'd be putting all this stuff. We'd have like a 3-line kind of output statement here. So now we're just kind of making our string and then plugging our string in our inner HTML. So today is Thursday, September 14th, and I think we're going to stop there with part 3. This will be your exercise ex2. So just a quick review of what we did. We used a constant variable that instantiates the date object, so we get a full date. We did something where we printed out a string of it, but we didn't really do anything with it other than the first video. But what we really did is we made variables that represent the day, the month, the date, and the year, and we're using these date object methods to pull that. But we have some issues because the day comes up as numbers. So here we used if-else to convert it to numbers. And down here, since the months show up as numbers, index numbers, we just basically made an array, or we copied an array from W3 Schools, and then just converted. We use the array name and then just use brackets for the index number. And the index number is what was already being pulled up here. We could have done the same thing with the day of the week. You could do the same thing. If you want to do that as your challenge, comment this code out. You could comment this code out and do command or control / and do an array with the days of the week. You could copy them and paste them and do the same thing. That way your code will be a little shorter, be a little more consistent. You can do that for your challenge. So try to do that so that you're doing the index number for the days of the week. You can still keep this code here just to demonstrate that you did it. It's always nice to keep your code there and not delete things. And when you're done, you're basically going to copy this URL and just copy it and then go back to myWarren and put it under Unit 2 for ex2. And I think you know how to do that already, but if not, let me show you. You're going to go to Unit 2, Date Output JS, and you're going to click on this. Now this is going to change. I just opened this up real quick just to show you how to do it. This will change, so ignore this for now. That's why I put recording videos in progress. So click on this, and you're going to add a comment, and in the link, that's where you're going to put this. So if you didn't copy this, sometimes you highlight things, you forget to copy it. You're going to copy this, copy your URL, and then go back here and click on this link and paste it. And make sure to do this. Click on New Window, so when I click on your link, it opens in a new tab, and it doesn't take me out of myWarren, which sometimes is a pain, so please do that. And that's all you need to do. And I'll see a comment when I see your coursework. So that's all you have to do for ex2. We're gonna work on some more stuff and have some more challenges coming up, but we're getting started here with just a little JavaScript, so hopefully you're learning some basics of JavaScript as we do that. So that's ex2, and we'll be moving on from here.